Warning, this podcast contains scum.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for American Horror Story called This is the season finale. This is, what number is this? This is episode 11. Yes. Now, I am your host for tonight, the 30 pounds of Halloween candy that you find for 90% off the drugstore, Jacob.
No elaborate costume tonight?
No, see... If Scooby-Doo has taught me anything, and including this show, the real monsters are people.
That's true. That's true.
Who do I have with me, by the way?
Oh, hi, I'm Dom.
Oh, hi, Dom.
Hi.
Okay, so it's the finale. Bit of a shorter season, but that's fine, because, the lead up to this was one of the best rides in American Horror Story, in my opinion, anyway. And we've complained before in the past that the show cannot do finales at all.
Yeah, I was actually kind of satisfied with this finale.
And that's what I was going to lead into. I liked this one once. I think...
The beginning of it, though, I was really confused. Because I thought I missed something last week. And I was like, we didn't discuss Kai getting arrested? And I was so confused because it led all the way through the commercial break, and then we came back from the commercial break, and it was still that, and I'm just like, I'm really confused.
Well, this
and then
is,
it all came
isn't this the way?
Yeah. And then it came together, so it was fine. I just wrote it out, but I really thought I missed an episode or something somewhere.
Yeah, I was a bit confused, but, I knew I didn't miss an episode. I know I'm not that crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so this is obviously, a time jump thing, and we're going to go back. And we did, but we start off with Kai. He's in jail for some reason. I don't know yet. But he still has influence in this prison, with some of the other inmates. They're all part of his little thing. He's still doing his shit. So we go to a time jump. It's 2018. And then we flash back to 11 months before, back with him and his frat boy, trust fund baby cult men, and them trying to, murder a bunch of pregnant women, which
Charles Manson
I guess
style.
I guess they didn't realize that, finding 1,000 pregnant women would be difficult.
Yeah.
But good on you for you overachiever you, but just got it back.
They had to settle with 100 instead.
So now we have Allie, who I think is now my new favorite character in this season anyway. I mean, I love Kai.
She started off as a character you could not stand. You just hated her. You didn't like her whatsoever. And then she came a long way.
Yeah, she has. And see, this is how we do character development. I like this. I mean, we have more of this. Not that you don't before, but you've been talking lately, and I don't like it. This I do like. We have... Because, we started out with Allie. She and then she spiraled down, and... we have this shift. We have this new Allie who is starting to overthrow Kai and sort of ease her way into leadership role. And now we do know from last week that unfortunately Winter is no longer with us because her fucking brother Kai. Kai thinks that Winter betrayed him, so he, and he would do what any other brother would do. The logical thing would be to kill her.
Yeah, the logic. Yeah, totally.
out, only to find out that Winter was not the damn traitor.
It was Speedwagon.
Dirty bitch. Okay. So we have Speedwagon talking to Allie, and then, he's spilling the beans, and then Allie is, she's trying to console him, be all nice and comforting, and then I'm like, oh, she's gonna kill him.
I'm because this is a story she was telling Kai, and I wonder how much of it was fabricated. I'm sure some of it was real, but I'm sure some of it was fabricated too to fit her agenda.
Maybe. I wouldn't put it past New Allie to do that.
Yeah.
After that we have Beverly, and I liked Beverly when she was introduced. I thought she was a pretty strong character.
Yep.
I don't know what they did to her.
Yeah, she just kind of fell flat somewhere along the way, and I think she started becoming whiny, and, it was like, I wanted this, I expected this, I wanted to be that, and it's just, she had too much demands, I think, is what it came down to.
Some characters, I know it's interesting. There are some characters who I started off hating this season, and then they grew into some of my favorites. And then there are characters who I fairly enjoyed, and now it's like, oh, what happened to you? I don't
like Ivy.
Like Ivy, but we don't need to talk about Ivy right now. We don't. I never liked Ivy to begin with.
I liked Ivy better than Allie.
I couldn't say. They were both meh for me. But we had Allie bring in the police when Kai and his, dude bros, are ready to do the deed. And then, so then we have a whole dogfight going on in the damn basement.
Yeah, Allie sold them out. She continued Speedwagon's little inform the cops kind of deal. But she used it to her advantage.
So the cult is, well, presumably dead. It's done. We have Kai going to the jail, and now we follow Allie, who's doing good for herself, and I like seeing this. I like seeing women in horror-related media just live their life and be content with it.
Yeah. I mean, she started over. She got a girlfriend, and she's like, what do you expect me to be here in sad and mourning for the rest of my life? No, I'm going to live my life.
Meanwhile, we got Kai over there still doing his shit in prison. I don't know why I didn't think that this would happen if he ever were to get arrested. Of course he would continue on recruiting members and
making creepy collect calls from jail.
Then we got this scene with him and a lady cop. I don't like when this show... I don't like the way this show portrays sex because it's gross. I don't know why, but I get this is a horror show. But horror doesn't necessarily mean you got to be disgusted about it.
Yeah.
And I never liked watching any of the sex scenes on the show. And Kai, that is completely inappropriate.
Yeah.
But whatever, whole pinky thing with her, so I guess they're good.
Let's clarify, the pinky thing was not during sex, right?
No, it was not. Well, maybe it was.
I don't know what Kai's doing with his pinky during sex, and I don't want to know.
And then we see Allie on the TV saying that she's running for Senate.
Yeah, and this is where I was like, okay, so she's turned to Kai. That's exactly what was going on through my head. So the rest of the episode really wasn't too much of a shock for me at this point. I like, but I don't think that takes it away. I don't think that takes anything away, because almost everything that you're about to say, everything that's is about to come, I pretty much saw, and there was no shock value for me.
There wasn't. It was a little bit predictable, like once this started happening, but not
especially
to say
Jake, because we just rewatched all the Saw movies, so when it comes to twist endings, I have them down pat. Don't worry, so it's hard to fool me.
Well, have you seen Sleepaway Camp?
No, I haven't.
You should.
Yeah,
because you're gonna there's a twist in the movie, and you're gonna figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
It's still gonna surprise you though, because they do something.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so like when in the off season, I suggest we just go back and like review old movies. We should review Sleepaway Camp. It's a really good movie. Well, it's not a good movie. It's a bad movie.
Yeah, we'll definitely have some plans for some stuff over the summer, so hopefully we can work that in.
It's a bad movie, but it's so bad that they inadvertently made a good movie, if that makes sense. But let's go back to the show. Another horror-related thing. See, it all comes back. I mean, it was a bit predictable, but not to say I still didn't enjoy it. I do enjoy this.
100% enjoyed it.
I like seeing Allie just completely change. And I think that's really interesting. I like when you have, because usually the main character in most horror-related media are female, and usually they're the last one standing, and I like seeing that she's survived this, traumatic experiences, but she didn't. Not only did she come out alive, but she came out on top of everything, and slowly kind of morphing into the things that were tormenting her.
Yeah. Yep.
So they're interesting where Al is, on this sort of anti-cult agenda.
Right.
But if you think about it, politics are...
It's kind of a cult, yeah. It really is.
That did not click in my mind until this episode.
Yeah, and I love the whole speech that she was making, about the two parties, and, it's time for a third party, because the third party, the Green Party's existed forever, but nobody's ever paid attention to that, realistically. Every once in a while, an individual person might pick on somebody from them, and you'd be like, yeah, let's vote for them, but the rest of the country doesn't cling on,
Yeah. Now, can we talk about Kai dying?
Okay.
But not really.
The jail massacre,
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So Kai got some poor fuck to double him so he could fake his own death, and then he escapes.
Right.
Back his revenge. How the fuck?
I mean, it's clever. It's clever, except for the fact that, do you think nobody's gonna miss the other prisoner that disappeared? They're still looking for somebody. If two people aren't... So, the way it's gonna work is if this was to really happen in a prison, right, and they're gonna find a body with a face cut off and body mutilated and all that, and there's identifying tattoos, they're gonna be like, okay, Kai Parker's dead. They're going to send all of the prisoners into lockdown to try to figure out who did it, and they're going to do a head count. They're not going to realize that there's another prisoner missing at that point. It seemed a little weird to me.
Maybe no one cares.
That's not how prison works.
But we have Kai escaping, and of course we have to have Evan Peters shirtless at least one time in the season.
Yep.
We have Allie doing little debates and doing her thing, and then we got Kai coming back, saying whatever the fuck. Half the time I don't even know what he's saying.
He's just trying to exact his revenge on Allie. Like, he's really upset that she ratted him out. So, you know, he's come in to do it, and, you know, this is all part of Allie's plan. The cameras are all on her, you know?
But then the confrontation. And then Kai pulls out the gun, and it's not loaded.
Nope.
Yeah, so it turns out Kai's lady cop friend back in the prison is working with Allie.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't, you know, she did the whole pinky swear thing, but she broke that, and, you know, she thinks it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, good on you, Allie. You're getting smarter and smarter every episode.
Oh, every episode, and I like, as soon as like, I didn't catch on that the cop was working with Allie up until the moment that Kai pulled the trigger. But even before they cut away to her, I was like, oh, that son of a bitch, she's been working with Allie this whole time. And then they cut to Allie, and then they cut to Allie looking over and smiling, and then they cut to the cop standing up, the security guard, you know, standing up, and I was just like, got it, okay.
Yeah, and then I like this little tie back to, it was the first episode where Kai was talking about the most dangerous thing in the world is a humiliated man.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Allie saying, well, there's something a bit worse than that. And do you know what that is? I'm asking you, do you know what it is?
Oh,
this is where you finish.
The scorn of a woman.
Exactly. And then that's when we had the other confrontation between Beverly and Kai, and I'm like, Beverly's back, being fierce as fuck.
Beverly's sick of his shit. Mm-hmm. She's not playing second fiddle.
No. Or second banana. Or any second anything.
Sloppy seconds.
And then her gun was loaded.
Oh, yes it was.
Then his head is just gone.
It looked like one of those watermelons that got smashed.
Which is exactly how Jacqueline Kennedy described the sound of Mr. Kennedy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And this is satisfying to me because I love seeing, because like I was just talking earlier about Beverly. I'm like, Beverly, what happened to you? And then this happened. And I'm like, shit. Yes.
Yeah. Like, I love the whole way that Allie was just like, Beverly, don't worry, what's to come, you know, wait for that. You, like, because Beverly wanted to do herself in. Well, she didn't want to do it herself. She wanted somebody to do it for her. You know, she got sick of it all. And then she's just like, no, just wait it out. You'll see. And then Beverly shows up at Allie's restaurant later, you know, and, you know, they kind of talked it out. Mm-hmm. And Beverly was like, why didn't you rat me out? You know, and she's like, 'cause I didn't see you do any of that stuff. I don't believe. I think you just got caught up in it, and that's the entire reason Beverly was helping with Allie's campaign to begin with.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure how I feel about this because so we have these two strong ladies being strong ladies, and we had Allie going into the election, and she wins, and that's nice little bookend that we started the season with an election, and then we ended with one.
Yeah, she basically took Kai's place on city council.
Exactly. And then Allie puts Ozzy to bed, and then she has to have her little meeting, and then and she has a little meeting with all these women, very similar to the one that Valerie had back in the day.
Well, yeah, because when she puts up the green hood, it's the scum. It's the same hood that Scum wears.
Mm-hmm. And so I think this is interesting because I was thinking towards the middle of the season that we would have had this female cult go up against the male cult, and it would be like all out, but it wasn't. It wasn't like that. It was more like the female cult sort of like invading the male cult.
Yeah, I mean, it was a female cult first, right? And then they brought Kai in and like resurrected the cult and then infiltrated and took it back over. That's the way I see it, you know.
We had Frances Conroy's character, who was the lover of Valerie Solanas.
Right.
She is the one who she was with Kai towards the beginning during his like whole crazy bit. She kind of influencing him, and then him influencing other people, and then him like overcoming
influencing
her.
Allie.
Then Allie offed her, and then she's working with Kai, and then Kai going to the damn jail, and then she has the one up on him, but then he's escaping, and then he thinks he's got the one up on her, but then the no bullets, and then the bullets, and then the Beverly, and then this happening, and it's just all like it just kept going back and forth, and I like that.
Yeah, and in the end, Allie was the smarter of the two. But that's not to say as this, the stuff that we're never going to see, on screen, or who knows, maybe we will, but I doubt it. I could see Allie getting to the point where Kai got, where he starts getting paranoid and starts losing control and somebody else has to come in and take over. And that's just kind of how politics work in general, That's
what the end of the show, the end of the season rather, is implying.
Yeah.
That it's keep happening.
Somebody's always going to replace the person before them, and it's not always going to be better.
But I do like the ending of this episode there, and also the ending of the season. It was nice little bookends, and it tied up everything really nicely. And there's a lot of storylines in previous seasons that just get dropped.
Yeah, and then we had the big tie-in to what is it, Asylum at the end, right? They name dropped was it Asylum? Yeah. They name dropped her character, the reporter.
Yeah, and on that, I think I would have liked more references to the other seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Because we did not get a lot. We got Twisty, but Twisty never that never went anywhere.
I need a Twisty doll. I'm just saying right now, I need a Twisty doll. That has to happen. Put that up for sale somewhere, Fox.
I mean, I'm sure after this season, they got to bank on that. It's how to make money. Well, I'm still waiting for American Horror Story little. So there are these, how they have the little Funko Pops? I would like it if we had American Horror Story Funko Pops, but the little baby ones. Because they have some for free show, but they don't really have a lot for any of the other seasons. And just imagine a tiny little Twisty. Sitting on your desk.
I'm pretty sure they do have not the mini, but the full-size Twisty Funko Pop. I'm actually almost positive about that.
I've never.
Twisty the Clown Funko Pop.
They have one. I'm gonna
They do.
Leave. Okay, great. Gotta go find one now. But I would like a Twisty doll, and maybe dolls of the other clowns that were in this season. And see if they have names. Well, I gave them names, but I want to know if they actually have names.
Yeah.
And I think other than Twisty, there weren't a lot of references to any references really to other.
There's our Twisty right there. He looks fantastic. I need him.
Okay. I think next season is supposed to be the Murder House Coven crossover.
Okay.
And if that is the case, I am really excited about that because, I love Coven. It's probably my second favorite season of this show, but it's probably, if Coven was just a one-off thing, it was its own mini series, and it wasn't part of American Horror Story, I still would love it.
Yeah.
Because I think Coven is definitely the odd one out of the seasons. It wasn't really scary, but it was witty. It felt like a Josh Whedon show.
Yeah.
Reminded me a lot of Buffy and those kind of shows. And so we haven't really I think it's because of that we haven't really gone back and explored more of that season. And I like that season a lot, where I just kind of wanted it to go on. And this show has never done sequel seasons.
No.
Maybe they should start doing that.
It could. Or if, crossover, mixing 2 seasons together technically could be, a sequel. It's a double sequel at the same time.
Because like Murder House, I would also like a sequel to that season. But if we can combine these two and like make that work somehow, that'd be awesome. We still got that demon baby running around.
Yeah.
Jessica Lange's somewhere. But yeah, this season devoid of references, but like that doesn't that's not a detriment to the show this season at all. This season can stand on its own, I think. I think the fact that it is American Horror Story makes me love it more, but like this season was probably, I don't want to say it's my favorite yet. I think I need to watch it again because I've seen Asylum.
It's my second favorite. Yeah, behind Murder House. Murder House is my favorite, so.
I would say it's my second favorite right now. Maybe if I go back and watch again, that'll change. But right now, it's my second favorite. Maybe it could be interchangeable with Asylum right now, and like that's like a feat.
Yeah.
For me,
the real thing here though is now with Allie's agenda now, where we know she's working for Scum, and what did Scum stand for? Something like slowly kill all men. So I don't know what the U stands for.
Useless men.
Yeah, maybe something like that. And she has Ollie, and Ollie asks, some questions about like pertaining to is he good and some stuff like that, and she's just like, we'll have to see, so that kind of creeps me out too, because is Ollie safe? Or Ozzy. I don't know why I keep calling him Ollie. Oz. Yeah. Ollie. Oz. Yeah.
I think maybe Ozzy is going to be the one to overthrow his mom. I think that'd be interesting.
That could be really interesting, yeah.
I mean, we've never really looked at Ozzy as character other than he's, the kid that we have to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they were to return to the characters and themes of this season, that could be something that they could look into.
Yeah.
Now this has been added to the library of the many seasons of American Horror Story. They can go back and reference the things happening on this season, and maybe Allie's Senate run impacts things in other seasons.
Could be.
You can tie it in that way. So overall, I'm really happy with this season because this season touched on issues timed oddly well with the things, with the real life events that were going on in America, at least.
Mm-hmm.
What issue was happening that week in America, the episode of American Horror Story conveniently touched on it.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah, it was definitely coincidence. They didn't plan that out, obviously, but they did a really good job of hitting reality here, and making it something that people could connect to immediately. And I think that's what makes this such a great horror story is because everybody feels like this is something that could happen and is probably happening to some degree near them, or whatever.
And that's scary when you can hit so close to home.
Yeah.
I will say that this season, I wouldn't say the season scare is like I mean, scare is a really strong emotion. There were some parts that scared me, but there were just parts that made me uncomfortable
Yeah,
because like I was watching like this is like too real, and I
yeah.
think that's the point. So
That's
American Horror Story
it's a
doing with that.
psychological scary. It's not a jump scare kind of thing, you know? It's like this
I know.
could really happen. You know, that's why it's scary.
Hopefully it doesn't, but it can, and that's what makes the show so great when they can take real life events and apply them to the show. And I always applaud this show for that. And I applaud the show for scaring the shit out of me, for making me uncomfortable, for making me queasy, making me throw up on one occasion. That's like a story for another time. Um, I'm really happy. I don't know why I haven't been this happy after an American Horror Story season since Kevin.
I
Um,
have never been. Even Murder House did not have a satisfying ending for me. I just kind of ended that season going, "What the hell?" And then, like Coven, I was okay with. I wasn't like this is a good ending or anything. I was just kind of like it's whatever. This is the first time where I was like, "This is actually a fantastic ending."
so I think this show usually does have happy endings, but this was but it's usually happy endings, but they leave it open enough to where like something else is going to happen, you know. And I think the show also does a great job of creating its own little world in this little pocket of a season
Hmm.
where it feels like it's lived in, and you feel like there were things going on before you started watching the show and that things are going to go on after the show has ended. And we will see that hopefully in the next coming in the up and coming season. We'll see little repercussions from this, see references to it from other seasons, and hopefully this show just keeps going on because there are tons of ideas that Ryan Murphy can pull out of his ass.
Yeah.
Um, and and after watching this, I'm excited for the next one, and not just because it's the Murder House Coven crossover. If that's what it's
If
if that's
Well, 'cause I read an interview with Sarah Paulson, and she said that Ryan has talked to her about the next one to a little degree, and she said the way that his visions are, it's like flash dreams. Like he has some really strong visions of certain things that he wants, but he doesn't know how to piece it all together right away, and that's something that he's got to sit on and stuff like that. So she said that he's approached Ryan Murphy's already approached her, and she likes what he's thinking about right now. That's pretty much about it. So don't know exactly. That could be the Coven crossover. Could be something else.
I this because I think Sarah Paulson has become. I mean, she's always been front and center. She was the main character in Asylum, arguably, and she did have a big part in Coven. I think it was, and she was the main character also in Freak Show. But after Jessica Lange left, she has really become the face of this show. I think
Yeah.
more so than Evan Peters.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
and so I think Sarah Paulson loves playing new characters every season, but we've seen her revisit old characters. She was Billie Dean Howard back in Hotel from when she was doing that in season one, and then she was Lana Winters again last season. So we know that Cordelia from Coven is the new Supreme, and that she did survive that season, and Billie Dean Howard also is still alive. So it'd be interesting if we can go back and explore both of those, see where are they and like how maybe they can play off each other. And I think that would be fun for Sarah Paulson to play these two characters that she's played before, but play them off of each other, because we saw Evan Peters kind of do that
Yeah.
this season.
See, a direct interview that I have pulled up here from Vulture.com. They just ask her, they go, how will it feel next season to go back to playing some sort of crazy creature rather than just a lady from Michigan? And she laughs and says, do you really think I haven't been doing this for so long on this show that I don't know what you're doing? You really think I don't know what you're doing? And they go, I just assumed that you'd like to go back to the supernatural. She goes, again, I don't know who you think you're talking to, but I don't have to answer that question. I can tell you, I heard rumbling of thoughts and plans and ideas. I've heard 2 separate ideas about what could happen next year, and one of them I'm particularly in love with. But I could not possibly give you one shred of information regarding whether or not I play a creature, or a cuckoo bird, or a regular gal from Des Moines. They usually call me at some point and say, here's what it is, lady, and Ryan breaks it down and I get very excited, and I don't want to ruin that for myself by jumping in before I fully know what it is. I can just tell you I've heard rumblings, and one of them I really like.
Well, I'm sure whatever it is, it's going to be, well, I'm not going to say it's going to be amazing because, you know, this show hasn't had the best track record, but
Right.
I think I'm more excited now after watching this season than I was after watching Roanoke last season coming into this one.
Mm-hmm.
So I was done with American Horror Story, like after Hotel, and then I was even more done with it after Roanoke, and this season brought me back, and I'm glad that it did that.
Yeah.
Okay. Any closing thoughts? Anything that we want to add? Any hopes for next season, or any predictions that we might have? I already have mine.
I mean, I love the idea of the Coven Murder House crossover. I absolutely love that. That's what I'm hoping for. But something new, something like, you know, if like, so that we haven't seen yet, if it's not going to involve any crossovers or anything like that, I'd say something along the lines of Trapped Out to Sea, something like that.
That'd be interesting.
Like a cruise ship gone wrong or something, you know, like I'd love an actual murder mystery, like do like a Clue style whodunit on a cruise ship kind of murder mystery.
But make it a parody of Clue, like have all the in jokes, because the show is good at meta humor.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for
That'd be interesting. Like that. But yeah, and also anything that has to do with the water or like the sea, I'm all for, because open water scares me.
Yeah.
And the show, you know, needs I think it needs a change of scenery, and I think that'd be perfect for that.
Yeah, and like if you do a murder mystery whodunit, it really makes it more eerie because you're trapped. You can't get away. You can't just run out of the house. You know, like you critique all horror movies for the person running away through the woods in the dark by themselves. There's none of that. You can't get off the boat, you know? You might be able to try taking a spare boat, but, you know, like, and then you're out, but you're rowing out to sea by yourself, you know? Like, that's much worse, and I think there's a lot of dynamics that could be played with that.
Definitely. Okay, so I think that's all.
Yep.
So with that has been our show. Hey, Dom, where can the people find you?
You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM.
Great. Okay, and so this has been me, your host, and I am the MTA worker who doesn't really want to be there because she has 4 kids at home, and she's the one who you hear over the intercom that says, "Stand clear of the closing doors, boop, boop, Jacob." And you can find me and all of my Monsters in Mayhem on YouTube at Jacob Salazar, or you can find me on Twitter, tweeting me throughout the life at ToNowhereland. That's TONOWHERELAND. Join the Nowhereland Society. And this has been the SNTV podcast for American Horror Story. And you can find us on YouTube, Twitch, Google+, YouTube, and the MySpaces, because that's still a thing, I'm sure, at ASOTV podcast. And you can, follow all our links below on our Twitch channel, to follow us and see the schedule for our shows. We will be doing all live shows right here on Twitch, and if you can't catch us on the live shows, you can always go to our YouTube channel to watch the uploads there. And with that, good night, everybody.
See you next year.